coming at you from both the frying pan and the fire. It's another episode of Rage Across the Internet. How are we doing, everybody? I'm your host, Porter. As always, we have producer Joey here.
Hey, guys.
And once again, we got Tom in the studio. How are we doing, Tom?
We're doing great.
That's excellent.
We're sweating. We are just sweating.
The oldies.
No, there are no oldies here. We're sweating to the middle ground.
I'm looking at two oldies.
No.
Son of a bitch.
No oldies.
You know, it's a shame you guys weren't here earlier. Tom was just telling us about his first concert. It was in Sync, wasn't it?
Nope.
It's on the block.
It's not even them either. 3 doors down. Give me some credit.
From the Doll Store was the In Sync concert you went to. That's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And call me, you piece of shit.
What do we got on the old podcast today?
Well, I'll tell you what. We have, even though you deserved it and you've asked for it, you are actually not going to be under the spotlight here today.
Oh, thank God.
You know, I mean, I would love you fucker, but you're not going to be. Instead, we're going to pivot over here to our dear producer Joey because, hey, welcome to the latest chapter of our Auspice series, where we are talking Ahroun.
And everybody's eyes are on me today. I'm in the spotlight.
You are.
I don't like that.
Well, you lose your religion and we'll make this happen.
Hey, you're an Ahroun. Roll with the punches.
No, I throw the punches.
It's going to roll with them too, though.
and the changes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
All day. I can't help
We're here all day.
Try the veal, I guess? I don't know.
Be sure to tip your waitress. And remember, the 9:30 show is completely different from the 7:30 show. Now, the Ahroun are full moons, of course. And Tom, what is the function of the Ahroun? She's going to answer a lot of questions. This one's for you.
This one's for me. The function of the Ahroun is basically the war effort. I mean, it is the fighter.
Well, I mean, all guru are fighters.
Yeah, but they pride themselves as the leaders of the fighting.
Be an officer, not a soldier.
The field general, the warrior's warrior.
And I mean, there's a lot more to them.
Certainly. Big shoes.
Yeah. So.
Especially when you're calling yourself the general. That's some big shoes to fill.
I said officer.
Hey, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
This is true.
And in our particular group, Joey, you're the Ahroun.
I am.
Why?
Well, like I've stated in past episodes, you know, when I was making a character, I was coming into an already established group. So I was looking for where the holes were. And I wasn't going Galliard. Sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Coward.
Ahroun.
Pound coward.
To be fair, we needed an Ahroun really bad.
So, yeah, no, and I like playing Ahroun. They jump in the fray. They get stuff done. You okay over there?
Yeah.
And the sweat getting in your eyes?
The stare down is just great.
Yeah, you hide behind that piece of paper.
So, yeah, I mean, that's why. And I figured that being the general or the leader of the war effort and helping bring the pack together and work as one when we are fighting is sorely needed.
Oh, for sure. Especially in our group, we needed it.
Yeah. And so you gotta be a leader, not a follower when you're an Ahroun. And it's just what I wanted to do.
Well, I mean, I will say I'll agree with Tom that this pack definitely needs someone to whip them into shape on a combat standpoint. It's not that they're garbage in combat, but, you know, I don't think I have to tell anybody here that, you know, part of the strength of the Garu is their ability to fight as a pack, as a single unit. Mm-hmm. And all too easy, it's all too easy to kind of separate and go, well, I'm fighting this guy and he can fight this guy and she can fight this guy. And that's not working together. That's working nearby.
Right. And part of being, you know, that war leader is knowing the strengths of each auspice. So sending the Ragabash out as the scout, protecting the seers while they're doing their mystical rite or whatever. Knowing what each can bring to the table and where I can be of most use.
Okay.
Tactical officer.
Yeah.
That's important, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have a little something you want to get off your chest here, Joey, about, we were talking about this earlier.
Okay.
While you were reading the Ahroun section of the Book of Auspices, which, by the way, guys, that's a book to read, especially you new players. A chapter for each auspice. It really digs in deep with what that role is and what it means to be, and it helps give a new insight.
It really does.
But you took an issue with, you had something to say in terms of narrators.
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought you might have forgotten. I know you want to touch on it. You'd be kicking yourself.
So, the narrator in the auspice, the Ahroun auspice section, there's actually a little dialogue box that explains the narrator and when the story section was written. It was Geta Fenris, and it was shortly after World War II. So he had a lot of bias, he had a lot of, pain and trauma from what he went through, and it came out in the story. And I thought that was great that they put that dialogue box in to kind of frame that narrative and let you know who he was and why he was saying these things. And with the Wendigo tribe, there wasn't that encapsulation. There wasn't that peek behind the curtain. So I didn't know where that narrator was coming from in time, or why his feelings were the way they were, which I had in the Ahroun section. And it allowed me to connect to that narrator and understand him on a better level. So, that's what I feel.
No, we were talking about that. I know it bothered you.
Yeah.
Because you had such a hard time connecting with the narrator of the Wendigo book. So
the narrator from the Wendigo book was so very angry, and I couldn't. You can understand why on a surface level, but I think if they had even just a paragraph of that dialogue box, a couple of sentences telling you when, where, and why, it would have reframed that whole book for me.
I totally get where you're coming from, but I knew it was important to say something about it, and I know that how often we don't script a thing, so shit just gets lost by the wayside, and you're like, damn it, I should have said this.
Yep.
Happens all too often.
All the time.
So, stuff that is getting left out. You wanted to say something.
I did. There were two things, but we just jump. See, this is the problem. This is what we do.
Yep.
There's no controlling this. It's goddamn ridiculous.
That's why we need a framework.
We can't even be bothered to write a thing down. Well, when it's not ignored, like it's Tribal Series.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches. Yeah, actually, first things first, we wanted to send a quick shout out and a thank you to a couple donors.
Yes, we did.
We have Barry out there. We want to thank you very much for your donation. It means a lot to us. And we also have
Nicole.
So thank you, Barry and Nicole, for your donations. Again, it's a big thing. It means a lot to us. Helps us with our overhead. It makes it easier for us to keep doing what we're doing. So thank you so much. So back to the subject at hand.
Yes.
I know there was the other thing. I could do the other thing later on.
Okay. So back to the Ahroun.
Yes.
What do you guys want to know?
Why did you choose it aside from because our pack needed it?
Oh, there's a level of connection. There's a level of catharsis of just being able to beat the crap out of things.
Language.
But you could do that with any.
Yeah, but, okay. So...
10-foot rage monster, you can do it.
My favorite auspice, if I have my druthers, is the Philodox. But a close second is the Ahroun. So, there was a hole, and it was enjoyable. It's a fun thing.
Filling the hole was enjoyable?
Oh, boy.
No, I'm not even going there. Neither are you.
Touching that one.
Nope. That's a conversation grenade. We're not going there.
I just wanted to be clear with what you were saying.
Jump on the grenade.
I just want to make sure that everyone understands.
Oh,
that grenade's a dud. We're leaving that one there. Well, let me branch off on that then.
On that?
Not that. On why she chose Ahroun. Why did you choose a child of Gaia, Ahroun?
Oh,
Because
see,
these clash so hard together, and
but they
I gotta
really,
know.
really don't. They really don't.
Do explain.
As it's described, Ahrouns are a mortal vessel for a violated goddess's fury.
Okay.
That is right up the Children of Gaia's philosophy.
It also sounds...
Stop it.
Let her finish her thought.
You know, it's protecting, avenging the Sacred Mother. So it's using battle, it's using rage, it's using the fury that has been bestowed to avenge. And you know, for goddess worship.
Where'd you get those stereotypes of the typical child of Gaia?
And those are stereotypes.
Which I've met Echo, and she doesn't fit the stereotype. So.
She doesn't.
No, but, you know, the more you get Echo to talk, and Echo has some trauma like all good guru. And so she's not willing to really open up to new people, you know? She goes in, she does the job, and that's it.
She's there to party.
And
Best lines.
Yeah.
Best lines Echo had.
I'm here to party. But again, that's her covering. That's you know, answering a hard question with an easy quip. And when you get her to really take off her armor and see who she is, you will get some of the Children of Gaia, some of the granola aspects to her. But she wasn't raised with, you know, Children of Gaia. She was raised in a kin town, but it's not all Children of Gaia. So it's not, you know, the standard stereotypes.
That's why she works out.
Yeah.
Now, touching on stereotypes, there's that perception of the Ahroun is the, I don't quite want to say mindless berserker, but we can go near enough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you say to that?
Well,
How is it wrong?
you're not mindless. Your anger should be purposeful and directed. To be a mindless, you know, yeah, there is the berserker aspect that could happen, you know, but that's also called a frenzy, and that's not good, you know, unless you got nothing else to lose. Like, that's the last ditch.
Give in to the rage.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be uncontrollable. It should be a tool. It's not an excuse. It's not like, oops, I killed those 10 people, sorry. It's not an excuse. Your rage is not an excuse. It's a tool to do what you need to do. And it should be directed and focused. You know, it's like using, you know, a wrench instead of a shovel.
So Hulk smash isn't the...
No, that's no. You know, using your rage should fuel your purpose. Make it easier to do what you need to do, not just, you know, make a smear. I mean, sometimes you're going to make a smear.
Yeah, art's art.
Yeah, art's art. But it's just not wanton destruction.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's laser focused. It's pinpoint accuracy, not destroy the town.
Okay. I mean, solid fucking point.
It really was. It silenced both of us.
So, Ahroun, at least in some tribes, but I think there's a perception, I suppose it's what edition you're looking at,
Okay.
are looked at as the leaders of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Do we agree with that? And in what way are they the ones that should be the guy?
Ooh.
That's a tough question.
Right?
Yeah, I see two sides, because I don't think they should be the leaders of the nation. I think they should be the war leader. I think they should be the general in the battle. But there's also room for the Philodox that needs to be there. Because just having one voice and one battle strategy is not going to win the day. You need to have a consortium. You need to have other opinions. You need to have somebody to poke holes in the argument. You need that ragabash to walk by and go, yeah, that won't work. Wait a minute, get back here, why not?
That's off, Ghost. Nice.
So it's a collective agreement, and yes, you need that one person to call the shots when the shit is hitting the fan. You need that one person to be in charge.
A disorganized war party's not going to get much done.
Exactly. So you need that general running the show when shit's going sideways. But before that, you definitely need the Philodox involved, at the very least.
Now you're saying kind of like a wartime, peacetime kind of thing?
Yeah. I think that resonates the most strongly with me.
Mm.
And it's, even with the planning, if you know you're about to go on a mission, until the bodies start hitting the floor, everybody is involved in that planning. Yeah, there's a role for the Ahroun on the Elders Council, but I don't know if it's, I don't even think it's like second place.
That was bleeding into my next question.
Okay.
Do they belong on an Elders Council?
I think there's room for them, yeah. They have a valid point, with what they've seen and what they know. And definitely with choosing who goes on missions and why and where and when, that's a valid voice.
Also, I could see it for setting up defenses, too.
That was going to be my next point.
Right.
Guarding the cairn. You need to have people where you need them.
So you would call, you'd say the war would be a good position for Ahroun.
What was that? I didn't even understand the word you said there. I'll fix it in post.
It might have been mumbled a little bit.
Might it have been?
Might it have been.
We'll fix it in post, I promise.
No, that's not getting fixed. She always says that it never gets fixed.
No, it never. I don't think she actually edits.
Just release.
Yeah, I think she just like hangs on to it. It's like, oh, this one was really tough, you guys. Oh.
9 hours of editing. Meanwhile, I'm like binging Netflix.
He's drinking a fucking pina colada or something.
How many glasses of wine in?
I don't measure by the glass anymore.
So what was your question?
So you think the warder is a good position for an hour?
Yes, I do. I think that's a solid position.
Now, you got more?
Well, there's actually two positions. I think the warder is better for an older Ahroun.
Oh, well, it's a big fucking responsibility.
Yeah, super experienced.
We're not... That's not an echo job.
No, God, no. But, not echo, but, a middle Ahroun could be the Wormfoe.
Certainly.
So, there's two good positions for Ahroun. And the Wormfoe actually leaves the cairn and goes out.
And foes on some worm.
And foes on some worm.
Well, for our cubs out there, what's a Wormfoe?
And the warder stays in the cairn, and it's a slower pace of life. So I think for, the Ahroun that has survived and has seen enough of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good position.
I'm in agreement with her.
Yeah, now, I've done this in every Auspice episode. So, I guess it's not like the jig's up. Because we're just playing devil's advocate at this point. But, I think the Ahroun is probably the most worthless of the auspices.
Do tell.
I've done this every time.
I know.
No, so seriously. Well, the MO seems to be, I'm angry and I use my rage in combat and I'm a good fighter man. But all of the Garu are warriors and all of them have rage. So what's the point of you?
I mean, that last 20 minutes didn't explain that? I mean, I'm with her on that. That last 20 minutes should explain that portion.
Well, it should, but there's,
Fighting is necessary for all Guru. It's a devotion for Ahroun.
I knew you had more material.
Mic drop.
That's all she needed.
Yeah. See, I knew, it wasn't a setup. I knew she had more.
Oh, all right. I thought you were setting her up for something.
No, I was paying I was here. I was paying attention. I just knew there was more in the chamber.
Yeah, and I mean,
and I've asked that question every time.
Yes,
this is true. I remember getting that question.
Are the most ancient Auspice. Everyone else branched off from Ahroun. The Auspices are judged by their differences from Ahroun.
I didn't know that. I'm over here just
dropping some knowledge.
Yeah, I'm getting knowledge dropped on me right? That's it. I'm done for the day. I mean, that's all the knowledge I can take.
You wear steel toes in the studio from now on, man. You hurt yourself.
But yeah, no, like, again, it's more than just fighting. The Ahroun, they have duties. They're spirit warriors. You know, they need to destroy the enemy of purity. So they need to destroy corruption.
Right.
They're executioners, sometimes. Not all Ahroun choose to take that. They have to be tacticians. They need to avoid the revelry so that they can keep their calm. You know, it's part of controlling their rage and using it as a tool. They cannot get involved. I mean, they can and they probably do, but they really, really shouldn't get involved in the revelry before battle because it leads to missteps.
I'm sitting here with ragabash eyes going, we're tacticians too.
Mm-hmm.
Quite good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I could see why you would say that.
And why is that?
Yeah, you play Ragabash. I mean, that's... I'm sure they have the best hygiene, and...
Oh, yeah.
they can see to the moon, and they can breathe in space. No, I know.
You didn't know we could do that?
Oh, I did know.
Oh, I'm just making sure you knew.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ahroun.
Yeah.
They have to be an inspiration.
Do you think, as in general, they live up to that role?
I think if they're good at their job, they do.
I like that answer.
That's a great answer. Because I was about to say the one Ahroun that's very memorable to me. Well, there's two, but the one, my grandfather.
You know,
definitely
we have to convince Guru that a victory is still possible. And that still is the most important word in that sentence. No matter what happens. My leg got cut off, fine. We can still win.
Got 3 other limbs you can use.
Exactly. You know, you have to challenge other Guru through action to fulfill their duty to Gaia for even one more day. One more minute. You have to say, it's possible, we can do this.
Well, I think you touched on something really great there, because I feel like the game in general, you know, I feel like that one more day is all the more important. You know, I mean, when you take a step back, you know, the apocalypse is coming. If it's not technically already here, it's, you know, how that, you know, how you view how that goes down. But let's be realistic, is the guy aren't going to win that.
No.
You know, no. But you fight for the one more day.
Yeah.
For one, you know, the apocalypse is, we pushed it till tomorrow, maybe. You know, and that's a really good point, because, yeah, Harano is a real thing. That depression, that defeat, that emptiness inside. How do you convince someone that their job is to step out in the battlefield and die screaming, or to maybe survive and get maimed, or to survive and watch all their friends die, and then do it again tomorrow?
We have to lead by example. We have to try to be the embodiment of a hero.
And I mean, and you just touched on it. I think it's a great point you brought up. You know,
yeah.
So I'm like, my hat's off to you on that shit.
Thank you. But on the other hand, there's no shame in being a grunt. If you need to climb, if you need to climb into the trenches and be a grunt to prove, you know, to people, show don't tell. If you need to embody that, if your character needs to do that to inspire people, there's no shame in being a grunt. You know, it's the officer that climbs into the trenches and starts digging. You know, you gotta ring that bell.
Oh, excellent.
So, next question. What do we got? Tom's speechless.
Tom's,
over here.
I think he's going to roll it out now.
Speechless right now.
And I think you've convinced him.
I mean, I came into this going Ahrouns. They just want to go smash and kill. And hearing all this, it's definitely changed my perspective a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all smash and kill. It's a lot of, well, you've seen me sitting there with my notebook and figuring things out. And
oh, for sure. Definitely being a war general in wartime.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you know, Jessica's character's doing this. Does she need to be guarded? Okay, Danny's character's over here. He needs to move over here, and I'm trying to figure out what you're doing, and we've got this weird telepathy thing that happens.
It's somehow working out. That's why I, gave in on that tactician part of it, because somehow Ghost and Echo, they're perfect fit.
Yeah, and so, I'm constantly trying to figure out who's going where, who's doing what, and where I need to be the most effective. And that's what's going on when I'm tucked in a corner scribbling notes. Is I'm paying attention to the whole battlefield and where the enemies are and who's where and who's doing what. So
I know there's been a question that Porter's always asked in these.
Okay.
When a new person is building a new character.
Mm-hmm.
How would you convince them to roll an Ahroun?
Oh, kill smash.
Kill smash.
I mean, come on, kill smash. No, it really is. There really is something satisfying after a horrible day at work or a horrible week at work, and you just want to go and have fun, and you can play an Ahroun, and you can just whoop some serious ass on the battlefield. And I mean, sure, anybody can do that.
It's true. 10-foot rage monsters.
10-foot rage monsters. But, I'm yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and it's going to be fun. And it's haha, take that. So, it's a lot of fun. Kill smash.
And I think it's a great answer for a starting character.
Right.
I think that the Ahroun is easily...
It's a gateway character.
Yeah, it's a perfect starter auspice. Because, I hate to say it this way, but if you do it poorly...
It doesn't matter.
It almost doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of nuance, and you've talked about that. There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of important facets of that auspice. But if those get swept under the rug...
That's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't break anything.
No.
If you're a crappy Thurge...
That's going to get
you might as well not have one.
Yeah.
You're a crappy Galliard,
Maybe you just don't have one,
But you can be a crappy Ahroun and still get away with it.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you're a more experienced player, maybe you want to play a crappy Ahroun. And we've talked about this. Joey, you and I talked about this. Mm-hmm. The idea of a character who is an Ahroun but is just ill-suited toward it.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by that second time around. Someone who just doesn't have it in them is not a great combatant, is not a strategic mastermind or even a strategic novice. Someone
of a coward, maybe.
Maybe a bit of a coward. Maybe just kind of a moron. Someone who gets lost in a paper bag, let alone a battle plan. But I mean, that could be an interesting challenge.
Violet.
You never met her.
I'm trying to rack my brain for that one. I don't think I've met that one.
Yeah, no, I played a really bad Ahroun.
Purposely, though?
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Yep. She was just not suited to it at all. And it was one of those characters, it was a gimmick.
Yeah, it's what we call a gimmick character.
Yeah, it would have gotten real old real fast.
Mm.
But yeah, no, she was an intellectual character. She just happened to be born in the wrong auspice. Yeah, it wasn't wouldn't have been good for the long term.
But again, it was, and for that character, I totally agree. But I mean, there's definitely a place for going that route. Someone who isn't well suited to the role, but then grows to it over time.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's a way you could definitely go. And I think it's something that, for a more experienced player, if they're bored, they want to try something new.
Yeah.
Jeff the Coward, who, who learns how to fucking sack up and,
get in there,
carry the weight and get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it could be. I mean, that particular character was ill-suited for long-term gameplay simply because of her backgrounds and where she would have been going.
Right.
And it was ill-suited. But yeah, it would have been fun to play a character who had to grow into her Auspice. But instead we got Echo. And you don't have to go through the growing pains.
Thank fuck for that, right?
Yeah.
All right, team. Hit him and then again.
English, take 2.
Hit them and then again.
Okay.
That's the plan. Hit him.
Hit him.
Hit him hard.
Now do more.
Do more of that. Yes, good. Keep going. Okay, I'll be back here. Thanks.
Bitches and brews. Kill them a lot.
Oh boy.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Nightmare scenario.
See
That is a bit of a nightmare scenario.
You think Child of Gaia Ahroun is the worst? No.
It just coming from just stereotypes.
Right.
The two stereotypes, you put them together, it's like it clashes hard.
And there is a dichotomy. But again, not all children of Gaia are that stereotype.
I haven't met many that aren't.
Well, that's the storyteller problem.
It's not.
Have them hang around with Reese.
Oh, we just haven't been around many children of Gaia.
Yeah.
I think you did miss it.
There was a whole chronicle I wasn't there for.
Yeah, where I took the pack to, and Joey, you were there for that because that was the story that Violet was premiered.
Yeah.
I took them to a Children of Gaia sept, and what I did, and I did this intentionally, is I made them the worst version of Children of Gaia. Like, I leaned into that stereotype so hard.
That stereotype almost broke. He leaned into it that hard.
Oh yeah, but
the other way.
But I did it with purpose. The idea there is I wanted to make it seem not only that bad but worse, because it was the first time that this pack, who had, this far been brought up next to these war leaders and these hard motherfuckers, and then take them to a place that's the opposite of that. So I really embellished and really leaned in because I wanted your perspectives to be skewed by where you came before. So like the idea is the second time they come there, I'm not going to describe it as bad. But to them, it seemed that bad the first time. You follow me?
Mm-hmm. Kind of sad I missed out on that.
Yeah.
It was bad. You'd have lost your mind.
Yeah.
Ghost would have probably ran away.
Yeah, a hacky sack was involved.
Oh boy.
There was a drum circle.
I've seen a few of those already, so.
It was share time. Share time was coming up.
Yep, and no weapons.
Right.
Yeah, no weapons.
The pack had we'll call it I don't know if friend is the word, but a comrade. A former setmate. And that pack had moved to the coast. And he, Shadow Lord Ahroun, had a clave, which was now in storage because the warder deemed that he was being too aggressive with possible intruders that were coming through the moon bridge, that he should be waving that around and standing guard, basically.
Okay.
So they took his weapon away. And again, I'm overdoing that.
You're leaning really hard into that.
Really hard, because I wanted to, here's how miserable this guy is, and here's how night and day what you're used to. So it seems way, way worse. That I was, it's not as bad as I'm portraying it, but the first time I'm portraying it this way. It's like your first day in high school, when everything seems so massive, and it's not. It's not that big of a deal, Mm-hmm. But the first day it is.
Right.
And I connect with the children of Gaia. I have that, hippie.
30%. We've been over it.
30% granola. I have that, My parents were hippies. You know, I have that life experience. But I also know that having that, you know, mindset of give peace a chance and process your feelings and move through them doesn't mean that when the chips are down, you know, violence is available. It's there. It's always there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when the chips are down. It's when you're playing for all the marbles.
There's not many marbles left.
Well,
but they're big ones.
They
are important marbles.
Right.
Yeah, they're the shooters, man. You never played marbles?
There are rules to marbles?
What?
Oh, yeah. You never played marbles?
Apparently not. Apparently I've been doing it wrong.
High five.
All right. Thanks for doing that.
That was some sad shit I wanted to help.
It was a gentle high five.
It was like E.T. style, guys.
Well,
like they barely touched fingers.
We had to phone home on that.
It's like behind the scenes shit, man. I gave you some ADR.
He rung the bell for us, okay?
Damn right, ringing that bell.
Ring the button.
No, we are not making that a thing.
That
we need to establish ring the bell before we can parody ring the bell. But there is, we've been talking about this, you know, in the different facets of the Ahroun. That's awesome. Because, you know, they kind of wear a lot of hats, even though it's sort of this, it's like the different styles of the same hat.
Right, right.
But there's something we've been avoiding here.
Mm-hmm.
And, honestly, even in our games, sometimes I avoid it. And shame on me, for the record. But, the Ahroun is a high-rage character.
Yes.
And, that, first and foremost, tends to make one, we'll say, a bit ornery. And then there is, of course, the ever-present danger of losing control of one's rage and the repercussions of that. You know, there is a point to where I have failed you guys as a storyteller. And that I think I maybe have not stressed how dangerous your rage can be, even to yourselves. You know, the idea of waking up somewhere and you don't know where you are and you're not sure whose blood this is, but you certainly hope it's like the right kind of person's blood.
Ooh, love that.
Well, good, because I'm looking at you right now as the Ahroun.
Yeah.
So talk about that darker side of the rage and playing a character with high rage, because that's different. It should matter.
It does matter. It does matter. And it's a constant struggle because, you know, I'm human, don't have high rage. I've got to constantly be on when I'm playing Echo.
Mm-hmm.
I have to constantly be having that hot take. And because of her tribe, she turns that inward. You know, there's that constant, you're not good enough, you're doing shameful things, why are you acting that way? There's that constant internal monologue, and it's keep control, keep control, keep control. And she has to walk that tightrope 100% of the time, every single minute of the day. So that's why she quips like, hey, I'm here to party. You know, it's because she can't right now open up.
Right.
Because if she lets that release valve go even a little bit, God knows where it will stop. It'll turn into a fire hose. And, you know, she's on lockdown. And the way to release that is to fight the worm. You know as well as I do, she burns through rage on the battlefield.
Yeah, you do a good job.
Like it's going out of style. It's like, okay, here we go. Let's rock this. And that's her release valve. That's what I mean. Currently, we're on hiatus, but currently Echo is literally bathed in blood.
Well, it's dried by now, so like more like caked.
Okay.
She has mentioned a few times she wanted a shower.
Yeah.
It's like an M&M-esque shell.
When you're going from one battle to the next battle to the next battle.
Right.
You don't have time to take a bath.
It's a little like a Carrie scenario.
Yeah, it really is, and it's like that's where we stopped. That's the mental image I have of my character now for the past 3 months.
Can't shower enough.
No. It's like, you know, like where's the loofah? She needs to scrub.
Tell you what, I'll throw you a bone. It'll start raining next game.
Woo!
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
They're calling for showers.
Blood and mud.
Well, the mud's gonna be fun to fight in.
You're not the one who pole vaults with a staff.
Yeah. I'm sure that fight will go very well for you guys, no matter
Oh
what.
yeah. Anywho, I'm not looking forward to that fight.
No, none of us are. Can't wait till you guys can hear this chronicle.
It'll be fun to talk about.
It will be.
You know, but yeah, you know, it is. I think the rage aspect is something I haven't fully hit to the core, and so like for that much, I apologize. Because I mean, we'll get there because now we've got this Ahroun, you know. But you know, Tom is a Ragabash. You're a low rage character. Jessica is pretty low rage.
Yeah.
Danny, not so much.
No, you've been good about giving him the rate, like especially with his perks and.
Yeah, and you know, it also lends to his character.
Right.
You know, he's so Danny had been a bit neglectful into the negative consequences of that. You know, and
You've gotten better though. You noticed that mess up at like Chronicle 2, and you've gotten better at it.
I'd love to see, you know, somebody just lose it. I'd love to see that. That would be neat.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be me.
probably.
So, like, you know, I don't have any false illusions about that. Not like, yeah, let's see Danny lose his crap. No, it's probably going to be me.
And you know, it's hard to explain that level of rage because we're human folk and we don't get that. I couldn't tell you who. Once upon a time, someone. You know, asked me to try to, you know, the rage, so I'm mad.
No.
Like, well, yeah, but you're, no, not, what do you mean? And you know, and I told the guy, I'm like, okay, well, so imagine tomorrow, or even today, fuck it, you leave here, you go home, and your little brother's banging your wife. You walked in on it.
Okay.
And he takes a step. He was very sensitive.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, but he could see that. Like, I don't know.
There was a thing going on.
I didn't know there was a nerve I hit, but I must have hit one because he had a reaction.
Oh boy. Well, there's the rage you're looking for.
And I go, rage 1. Just point to him. 1 rage.
1.
Only 1.
What's your sheet say? 6. You know? As you raise my hands like, There you go. Every day.
Yeah.
That's just how you live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like with the character write-up I did when she had to ride on a commercial airplane and she was stuck in a metal tube with humanity and could smell the sweat and the vomit and the baby diapers and hear the guy
Frenzy
crunching his pretzels in the front of the plane, and she had to fly across the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, that's a lot of frenzy rolls.
The mental fortitude to hold your shit together, right?
Yeah.
Hope you got some high willpower.
So that'd have been a neat story, though. You frenzy, and you tear the tin can open, you know, and
then plummet to your death.
You soak it.
well, you know, willpower.
You're on the Atlantic.
That's at least 1.
Yeah, at least.
Maybe you will land near some Rokia.
Oh, nice.
You can like surf on some were sharks all the way home. Maybe they'll let you do that.
Maybe. No.
That
no,
is-
they won't. That's ridiculous.
Get some water spirits.
next
to help you
Chronicle.
out.
But yeah, and, you know, I mean, that's just trying to wrap your brain around a scenario, like flying in a commercial airliner. And she was flying coach.
Of course.
Probably middle seat.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, like, you just gotta, like, run these mental exercises. And suddenly you figure out, oh, God, this is
This was
just...
a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
Should have taken the Moonbridge.
If one was available, first I fucking walked.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, she had to get back to the United States somehow.
Take a boat.
Right? I don't know if that's any better, but...
Just stay on the top deck and just enjoy the front of the boat.
For a month.
Yep. Better than peeing in a tin can.
King of world.
So, anything else you guys wanted to cover about Ahroun?
I think we about covered that, didn't we?
I think we're pretty solid.
Yeah.
Anything that you feel we haven't touched down on?
No, I mean, we kind of covered everything I wanted to cover.
Excellent.
When any listeners want to hear something else, feel free.
Yeah.
Email us.
What? Where do we email us?
What? Rage across the internet.
Yeah, well, what's the email?
Oh, I'm sorry. rageacrosspodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
That is right. Or you could talk to producer Joey on the Twitter machine.
At Rage Across.
Yep. And then there's the Facebook guy.
That would be you.
That would be me. I am the Facebook guy, and I'm on the Facebook guy, and that's Rage Across the Internet. But all of that, I think, is lesser, is secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff's nice,
It's fun.
but you know what's more fun?
Our website.
Our website is nothing but fun. And don't ask me to elaborate on that.
There's a creeper van and some puppies. It's all fun.
That does not... That is not the advertising campaign we need, miss.
But then what am I doing with these puppies?
Oh, that's dinner.
It's fair.
We are...
We are a collection of assholes.
Certainly. And you
Well,
can
you can
find that
reach us,
collection.
yeah.
At rageacrosstheinternet.com. You know, I'll tell you, we're not going to get people visiting because of the way I keep saying that, I guarantee. People are like, enough with that shit, Porter.
Right.
You
Enough
keep
with the
forgetting to tell
.com.
them the HTTP. Because, you need to have that in front of the www.
And what comes after that?
Colon, //
Say that a little louder so the mic can pick it up.
No. It's just HTTP.
rageacrosstheinternet.com. Come join our digital cairn. Sign up to the forums.
Leave a post. Introduce yourself.
Certainly. Go onto our feedback section. Tell us why we are terrible. Or your favorite person in the world. I'm flattered. Thank you.
It's me.
You know-
What are you talking about? Everybody wants to talk to me.
Back in your cage. We've got a game fighter kind of there. We got a form for finding games. You need some people to fill up your group, or you're looking to form a group.
Yep.
You know, go on there. Hey, I'm from Ohio Games. I'm in Boise. Help me out. Sandusky players, come here.
I was gonna say, where are you? English?
I'm all over the place. Have you not been paying attention? Thanks for listening to the podcast. But yeah, you can find us there. You know, it's something we're building. We're getting these resources, stuff for players, stuff for storytellers. You know, it's a big deal to us. We want to share it with you. We love this game. We want it to go strong. We want to find a hub, a singular place you can come and fucking get what you need.
Are we gonna do Cubs Corner?
Are we going to do Cubs Corner?
We can do Cubs Corner.
I mean, we can do Cubs Corner. She wants to do Cubs Corner. Yeah, we should probably...
Do you want to do Cubs Corner?
We can do a Cubs Corner, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, hey, we get excited about the website here. So,
No.
Super excited.
it's a big deal for us.
That's where you're going to see me the most.
Excellent. See if you want to interact with Tom for some reason.
I got puppies.
Free puppies.
Free puppies.
And then Joey's got Cubs Corner too. So what we got?
Yeah. Okay. So we keep mentioning ring the bell. Or ring the button.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
What is going on with ring the bell, ring the button?
Okay. Well, first of all, there's not a bell. There's not an actual bell.
You don't need to purchase a bell. You're fine.
No. And buttons. What? Ring the bell. Ring the bell came from something that Mel Brooks once said, and the idea behind it is if you're gonna make the joke, make the damn joke. And now that whole concept was kind of co-opted by Mr. Bruce Timm, who was sort of the architect of the DC Comics animated universe, and him and his team took that. And again, they co-opted, they kind of made it their own, and they said ring the bell means good enough is not good enough. It means don't settle for something.
The show don't tell.
Show don't tell is a great example of it. It's a good example of ringing the bell.
Mm-hmm.
It's good enough is not good enough. You can do better, so do better. Push yourself to improve. You know, there's always more you can do. You can always do better. Ring that bell. Don't settle for settling.
Prime example, you want to make a howl?
Howl.
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah, and that goes back to show don't tell. Yeah, you don't say my character's hungry, so I'm going to go. We're at the restaurant, so I'm going to call the waitress over and order. Go, excuse me, miss. Can I get a burger?
And I think, well, I know that our game is a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
So if I decide I want to howl, I'm going to howl. If I look at you and go, miss, can I have some salt over here? You're going to respond.
Yeah, as the waitress. I'm going to bring my voice up. Here you go, sugar. And no one's going to laugh at that.
She asked for salt, not sugar.
Oh, well, she's not a very smart waitress.
Okay.
That's good. But you know, and that's how I'm going to respond. No one's going to laugh at that unless Tom makes a funny little joke there.
Hey, Ragabash.
That was pretty good. No, it was a good one. Because we're ringing that bell. You're committing to what you're doing. You're doing the best version of the thing you can.
And we can't stress it enough. It makes the game so much better.
Yeah, it really does. It takes that I'm a narrator for my character aspect out of it.
Right. You just are your character.
Yeah, you're fleshing out your character as you.
Yeah. And I mean, you've seen it when Echo was having the hard time. Like, my head was down. I wasn't looking at you guys. I was curled up, kind of in a ball. You know, it was like one-word answers.
Trust me, I keyed in on that and I left you alone.
Yeah. And, you know, you've mentioned it out of game. You're like, well, when Echo was having the problem, Echo had a problem with killing that thing. It's like, yeah, it's questionable what was going on there.
And that's the thing, and I want to stress because, you know, this is borderline Radio for two there. So I want to stress the thing here is that, you know, this was portrayed without a single word. This was done through Joey's body language, acting out the character.
Yeah.
You know, she at no point said, "I'm upset about this thing." There was nothing.
No,
it was just her body language in response to what was going on.
Yeah.
Ring the damn bell.
You know, the character was having a full-on emotional problem with what had happened.
And in this case, it was euthanizing a spirit.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have been within my character's framework to go, excuse me, I need to talk this out because she can't do that.
Right.
So I had to show it through how I was portraying the character.
And look, there's a way you could have done that. And this is tell. To go, well, my character's really upset about this, so I'm being quiet for a bit. And again, it amounts to the same thing, but you see how one of these, it's tell, and now we know that, and that's kind of...
Yeah.
What do you... Okay, cool.
Whatever.
Versus, you know, again, Joey taking a certain posture. You know, her you know, you kind of sunk into yourself, and you didn't make eye contact, and you left one-word answers. Like someone would if something was bothering them, but they were with people that they couldn't just talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
It was more natural. It was more real. And that's the kind of shit we're talking about.
Yeah.
The button is I misspoke once and we're all fucking dicks. So
collection of assholes, ring that button.
Yeah, see. That's what that is. There's no button.
And that's a thing now.
But I need it to not be.
Oh,
we need people to ring the bell before we can joke about it, you know?
And I'm trying to convince him to let me make a Ring the Bell t-shirt. So
I'd buy it.
I'm into the Ring the Bell shirt. I just don't want the Ring the Button t-shirt.
Well, that's coming in a couple months.
That's already on order.
Well, I might be into that later.
Okay. But if you're interested in a Ring the Bell t-shirt, let me know. You can find me in the forums. You can find me on the website. You can find me at Rage Across on Twitter. Let me know. You know, need to make sure that this is a thing we can do before we do it.
Yeah, because we are starting to talk about merch.
Yeah. So.
Terrible shills.
I'm down for a hat. Just a hat with a bell on it. That'd be awesome.
Nice.
And then
that would be
on the back it says ring the bell.
That's an idea, and it's a conversation starter.
Maybe a tiny logo after it. The logo tiny in front of the bell.
Something.
Logo on the bell.
Look at that.
But
I like it.
What else we got?
Aside.
Yeah.
How do you name your characters? And I want to take this to cut it off the pass, and I name my characters poorly. It's always been a struggle for me.
I can't really get into that. I have one character. I've only made one so far.
Yeah. No, it's probably, I want to say, a week to 2 week process for me. And normally a couple of phone calls to you. And you know, a lot of talking, a lot of just throwing random words out and, it's throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
It's definitely an approach. Obviously, there are different naming conventions for different tribes.
Yep.
And you can learn some of that through the tribe books. I think Storytellers 3, at least in terms of like first names, has a lovely section there, like by region and shit, but that's not really what we're talking about here. For me, it's I think the most important thing when you're naming a Garu is you have to say that shit out loud.
Yeah, it's got a flow.
Yeah, there is a flow, and you'll know if it's coming out clunky. Keep going. Maybe you're close to something, maybe you're not, but you have to say the damn name out loud.
A lot.
Yeah, because it's going to happen, and this is how you play the game. You use your words. You can't have I'm Blood Hunter Mountain George. What the fuck is that?
Did you have a stroke?
See?
And then you have your deed names. Runs Like Legless Dog is one of my favorites.
Right, and I mean that one was
that's a mocking.
Yeah, that was kind of a prank.
Yeah.
It was making fun of a pack-mate. But then, I took that because I wanted to make that character more legitimate, and I changed it to Day Tripper.
Which, again, tripping.
Right, and that's what it was. Is he was the Galliard of that pack. So, he goes, oh, it's like the Beatles song. Oh, that's cool. And, that's not what the song Day Tripper's about. But it's not. But it's got the trip in there, so it's still a soft jab for the people in the know. Mm-hmm. This was a clumsy Garu.
I like it.
Yeah, so yeah, you factor in deeds. Sekhmet Rainmaker, is named that way because he's known for pulling off, quote unquote, small miracles on the battlefield. Being able to do that shit that he shouldn't have got away with. That's
making it rain. Yeah.
Yeah, Whiplash is named after his speed and ferocity in battle, or because his actual last name sounds a bit like Snidely. But I dare you to repeat it to him. Dempsey, the Ragabash Fianna, is named that because Dempsey is his last name, and it wasn't uncommon to have heard after a prank, "You're a dead man, Dempsey!" That's how we got it. Butchers in the Shadows got that name because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Kind of along the lines of me.
Right? Sometimes he sneak references it.
And I mean, Echo's name isn't that flattering.
No. It's a...
Until you put it all together.
No, it's still not flattering. Echo punches the mountain. She's not going up and over the mountain. She's going through it. She's taking the hard way. She's stubborn.
She's not around.
She's stubborn. It was meant as a jab.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty stupid plan.
Yeah. I mean, you can take the easy path and walk up and over the mountain to get to the other side, or you can physically bash your way through it.
That sounds more fun, though. Ghost is on board.
Oh, God. Oh, good.
Just because he's going to throw jabs his whole way through that mountain.
Battle buddy.
Excellent.
Oh, God.
But it's, sometimes, again, you can find inspiration like song lyrics and stuff, I've snuck a few references through some NPC names, and, I don't really want to elaborate on that, because these guys deal with these NPCs,
yes.
And, one or two characters maybe wouldn't be taken seriously anymore.
But there are guru name generators online.
There are.
So you can go there, and you can keep clicking through lists until you find something you like.
That's true. And again, say the damn name out loud.
Out loud.
Make sure it flows.
It is. There's a rhythm to it that you want to keep.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't hurt to consider the shorthand version of that, the nickname, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Because Stands with a Long Shadow is an awesome fucking name.
But it gets turned into swells.
Right. Because no one in combat is going, "Stands with a Long Shadow."
Come over here.
That's too much.
Yeah.
We have nicknames. That's just how the world works. How many Michaels that you grew up with did you call Michael?
Not many.
Look at Danny, who we have only ever called Danny.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
So you look at Whiplash, "Hey Whip." Is it super fun? It doesn't matter, but that's a name you can make a quick nickname out of. Swalls, that's a bit of a stretch, but
it works.
It works for Swalls.
Right.
You know, it's a thing to keep in mind. But say the damn name out loud.
Okay, so that's all I had for Cubs Corner today.
All right, it was a 11th hour Cubs Corner because again I got a little ahead of us there.
Yeah, you jumped.
I did. I jumped the gun a bit, but excited to talk about the website. Excited to get you guys over there to hang out with us.
But again,
RageAcrossTheInternet.com.
www.rageacrosstheinternet.com.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. You know your support means the world to us. We'll see you next week, and thank you so much for listening. So on behalf of Joey, of Tom, of Danny stuck at home with leprosy?
Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
All right.
That's the one.
Yeah.
God.
We're ridiculous. Thanks for listening. Take care of each other. Be excellent to each other. We'll see you soon. Good night.
Rage Across the Internet's music is It's Into the Fog by Darren Curtis, shared with a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 unported license. For details, check out the information under the podcast.